This LoreHound.com video is brought to you by...
Number 1, read the line.
You will behold the glory of my sacred wood.
That's not him.
Okay. Number 2, read the line.
You will behold the glory of my sacred wood.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Number 3.
You will behold the glory of my sacred wood.
That's him.
Every year, 1 in 5 gamers is accosted by an elf. We're tired of elves.
What's up, gamers? iTZKooPA here. We're inside the Fallen Earth booth. We're here with Marie Croall, the senior game designer, and she's showing us the Bloodsports patch, which came out in May.
Bloodsports was our patch that came out in May. The Bloodsports patch was one of our first major ones that introduced the Deadfall area, which is 5 new levels of endgame content, Bloodsports, which is our arena-based PvP, our achievement system, and that's really where we started our major thing, which is our combat revamp, which is carried through all of the patches this summer and will go into the fall as well.
Right, yeah, we just found out about the major combat revamp a couple of weeks ago, and you guys are doing some big changes to the whole way the core mechanic of the game, it's a first-person shooter, is played out.
What we're actually doing, what we say around the office, is we're finally fulfilling some of the promises that we made to our players to deliver fast FPS combat, and a lot of that means changing how we implemented some of our mechanics. So we're looking at things like dodge, armor use, how effects stack, how abilities are used, mutations, skills, and we're looking at everything. I don't think there's a single aspect of combat that we haven't put our hands on. Immediately, we've changed our combat timing, so it's much more responsive. When you fire a gun, someone gets hit almost immediately. Same thing with melee timing. We've tightened up our dual wielding. Those animations are a lot better. You get instant feedback on that. So those are the changes that
None of the short delays that we were experiencing before.
We've gotten rid of a lot of the delays. Let me see if there's something around here I can show.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the stuff that's just been added recently, and then we can possibly look at some of the upcoming stuff.
I can show you a lot of the immediate stuff, and I can give you some sneak previews to one of our major features that we've wanted to put in for a long time. We're working on social clothing and customizable clothing for all of our players, which is huge for us. Right now, we're looking at Los Alamos and Deadfall. This is sort of an indication of the direction that our art is taking. We have an amazing art director, Devo, and he's implemented a lot of cool features in terms of our modular buildings. And what you see here is an entire town, and it's a lot more streamlined, it's a lot more unique, and that's the direction that we're going to continue to go. We've been adding new content with our quarantine patch. We redid one of our towns using sort of the same sort of streamlined art process. Same thing with the new content that we're adding for our anniversary patch upcoming in September. So art's really been stepping it up. They've added new trees, and one of the things that we're most proud of is we've added new lighting effects to really help us sort of set the tone of a town. And I'm gonna hop over here. Our quarantine patch we released it was a couple months ago. And I'm just hopping out. We've also added weather effects. And every time we add one of these things, we try to do like a really cool live event to get the players to RP to get in there and be involved. Our big thing is like letting players affect their environment. So when we released Weather, there was a huge storyline about how like these villains were trying to flood the canyon and the players had to stop them, and the weather was a result of that.
And you guys are going to do more of those kind of live events in the upcoming patches, right?
We have a huge one coming up. One of our major, we wanted to do something really epic for our anniversary. And so we're reintroducing some old villains. They're coming back in a major way, and hopefully it's going to be really impactful.
Yeah, that's the great thing about being like a more tight-knit community and having a closer group and a smaller dev team. You can actually go out and do these things that people wanted in these big events. You know, that's not possible if you got 1,000 servers.
And I think that's really the heart of Fallen Earth, is that we have this awesome community and we really can respond to them. One of the things that we've gotten better at is being much more agile, and the live events are a great example of that, because that's something that they want. So we can do a lot of that, and we can sort of tailor the event on the fly, which is really neat. But Quarantine, what we've got here is a good example of one of our upcoming features, which is our dynamic lighting. The story behind Quarantine is a town that we actually burned down, we're letting players go in there and play with the new ruins of this town, and then once they've had an opportunity to do that, we're going to look at what they've done and maybe build the town up.
Yeah, Fallener's seen a couple like pretty patches where it was meant to specifically overhaul the graphics, the textures. I remember didn't you guys do a terrain thing?
That was with Deadfall. We were modifying the terrain. They improved the way they improved how they do terrain. And it makes it a lot more natural and a lot more realistic. And you get to have those gorgeous cliffs in the background. So it really improves like the field of vision and the draw distance and stuff like that. They redid the trees as well. Now we've got like the very specifically done trees where they've sort of crafted them to fit the needs of the environment. And that was a major overhaul. And that was really funny because we released that at the same time we did customizable cars. And what they've done there is we've got die kits out in the world. So now when you make an interceptor, there's 3 different ways that you can sort of 3 different paint themes that you can do. So you can detail your interceptor and really make it yours. So we released a screenshot of the interceptors with the different colors. One was yellow, one was red, as opposed to the silver. And the players are like, oh, those are pretty cars. Have you seen the trees? Did you like the trees? Okay, that's awesome. Like our little Easter egg.
They were so happy about the trees.
So happy about the trees. And that was awesome for us because it means we really made a difference there.
Can we check out some of the upcoming social stuff that you're talking about? We're going to use some dev powers, I think, here. It's called PowerPoint, is my guess.
The same thing that we did with cars is we have different, basically, textures that you can colorize. So this is
it's drastically different.
This is huge. Now we just started with our social clothing, but we're going to do the same process for all of the armor, and we're just going to go like patch after patch because it's a huge process. But if you look here, everything, it's a different mat set, so you can color your jeans one color, you can detail your flames. So
they make it go faster, right?
Flames make everything go faster. So this is really sort of allowing players to become to be more attached to their character and really create what they want to be.
Yeah, I would totally clash.
Oh yeah, I'm sure my poor little guy is gonna be the ugliest dude out there. But I got my hot pink motorcycle, so that's what's really important.
It's all you needed.
And I was insistent on that. Like in this palette, if you guys don't have hot pink, heads will roll. So while I'm out there, I got my bike, and now I'm gonna get to have like my little flame pants. So I'm very excited about this. So this is one of the sneak previews that we can show you. The other stuff we can talk about, I don't have anything to show you yet. It's all on our dev servers.
Okay.
But we're very excited about 2 of our major features that are coming are our progress towns. And our progress towns, we have our conflict towns, which are PvP towns that you can kind of take control of. Our progress towns are going to be our PvP, our PvE version. And you're going to have to, what it is by supplying crafted goods to your faction, you can take control of the lands. And then it becomes like a tower defense minigame where you get access to certain buildings that you can place down in certain defenses. So you get to build your town, and then you set up defenses to prevent raiders from coming in and trashing it.
So, I mean, you do this for the faction, but is this per person gets to make like the mini game, or is it like everyone who contributes?
Everything is as a community. So you got to get together with your fellow techs and your fellow Chota and sort of lay out your town and plan how you're going to run it. You can do it solo. It's always easier as a group, and that's really Fallen Earth. So and we've got different levels of defenses, and you get to choose where you put them, and we got different waves of raiders, and they've got different things that they're good at. So
do you watch them at a specific time try and raid, and then can you interact while they're attacking, or is it just you pick the buildings and they'll just come whenever?
You can get out there and you can kill the raiders. So if you've got a big enough group, maybe you don't want a lot of defenses, maybe you want more structural buildings, maybe you want more mailboxes, auction houses, stuff like that. If you're solo, you're going to want a lot of defenses, because every time those raiders take out a building, your faction loses points. And if the raiders wipe out your town, you no longer control it, and it's back to the beginning, and it's free game for anybody.
So you're basically, you can be a foot soldier for the TD, running out there and interacting while they're raiding and stuff like that.
The defenses, you're part of the mini game. So you don't get the luxury of just kind of sitting back and seeing how it played out. Like everything, you're out there in the thick of it. So we're really excited about that. Hopefully it'll be a feature that we really like, that the players will respond.
So when do we expect like the social clothing and then the armor customization in the TD minigame?
Social clothing it's September is for the first start of our clothing. Armor is going to be a little bit further down the line. The progress towns are in September, and then we've also got a new PvP feature, which is our faction control points. which is sort of like a King of the Hill mini game out in the world. So you either have to be in a PvP zone or flag for PvP to activate them. And once you do, if you have enough faction control points activated for your faction, they start spawning guards to defend the area and specific harvest nodes that only you and your faction have access to. So that's something else that we've added for our PvP guys.
It's a lot of stuff you guys got on your plate. A couple different big things for September, and then the progression and the combat starts in September with that patch, right? The combat rehaul?
Combat starts in September. We're just sort of getting a lot of the mitigation issues fixed in September. A lot of the effects channel blocking is going to be fixed in September.
What about the mobile app? It's getting some premium features, right?
That's also in September. That's September 14th. So it's going to be a huge month for us. It's been a huge year.
Okay, hold on. Let's try and get the camera on the app.
This is the basic app. I don't have the premium.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No. The interface is going to be, the interface is very similar. But where the basic app is a viewer, the premium app actually lets you interact with stuff. So you can get on, you can buy from the auction house, you can use your crafting queue. You're always able to chat online with your.
You're not just going to be able to look at your progress in crafting. You're actually going to start it now.
Yes, you can actually get in there and start making stuff, putting it up at the auction house. You can play the crafting game outside of actually being in the game.
So premium's going to cost us. So do we know how much yet?
I believe it's $9.99.
Okay, and that's, you have it as long as forever.
As far as I know, you have it. It's a one-time thing. So it's just going to be another way you can play the game, and it's going to be for BlackBerry, for the iPhone. So it's going to be across a few different phones.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got a lot. You got a whole bunch of different stuff coming in September. You promised us a patch, I think, in December as well.
We're looking in that general area. We're definitely going to do something for Christmas. We're not going to let the holiday go by. We've got some plans there. We got to keep our live events rolling. But it's definitely going to be like winter. There'll be a winter patch. A lot of it depends on how much we can get done and how much I can cram in there. So we're looking at the schedule for that right now.
Wellness just keeps growing, and it's such a great community game, and just being a part of something and not just a number in the, a drop in the pond. So we wish you all the best going forward, and can't wait for the new content. So thanks so much.
It was good talking with you. Thanks for coming out today.
No problem.